Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 38 of Hit the Books, podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. Similar to last week, we are moving through the second round of the NBA and NHL playoffs. We have some MLB and other things to look at it this week as well. The PGA tournament at Valhalla is happening starting tomorrow, the 16th of May. So lots to look forward to as we gear through this week. But let's jump in and introduce my co-hosts, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Ace on a work call, so he will not be joining us for the introductions here this week. But let's start out with Huff. Huff, what do you got this week? I can see Ace. He looks like he's
stressing.
Go ahead, Huff. Go ahead.
That's corporate Ace for you right there. Look at that button down. That's beautiful. But yeah, happy to be back. Obviously, great week of sports. Obviously, NHL, NBA playoffs continue to roll as we move into some of these game 6, possibly game 7s in some of these series to move on, or in these conference semifinals to move on to the conference finals in each NBA and NHL. It's been some must-see TV. NBA has been great. I've been watching a lot more NBA than NHL, I will say that. But definitely, getting my fair share of the playoff hockey in. Watched some day baseball today. It's been a good day. Pirates lost 10-2. Just got them by the skin of their teeth. But yeah, cashed on that Nerfy. That's what mattered. But Mackie, I'll hand things off over.
Yeah, New York sports doing pretty good right now. Both teams are up 3-2. You can't complain. I know Rangers are kind of heading in the wrong direction. They had a 3-0 series lead, but if you told me I said this earlier. If you told me 2 weeks ago that the Rangers would have a 3-2 series lead on the Hurricanes in the second round, I'd be pretty happy. So looking forward to Game 6. This team always finds a way. So I'm expecting them to get it done in one of these next two. But yeah, both playoffs are kind of heating up. They're really good playoffs so far, especially the NBA. But yeah, just ready to get going.
What do you think if you could I don't know, you don't want to see it, but could we see 2 game 7s at MSG this weekend?
Oh my God. Don't even I don't want to think about a Game 7 for the Rangers right yet. The other series looks like every home team's kind of taking care of business, but I think that one's a little more likely. I'm going to hope what?
What do you think it would cost to get a Game 7 ticket to both? Over under $2,000 for both tickets.
For like combined both?
One ticket to the Knicks Game 7, one ticket to Rangers Game 7. What do you think it would cost? Over under $2,000.
Get in price, I'll say it's a little under, but I mean then you have the worst.
Like when you say a little under, you mean like $1,800 and you're still paying like $900
exactly.
a ticket?
I think it'll be at least $850 a ticket just to get in. And that's like the worst. That's the worst seat in the house. I mean, the Garden is just out of control with these ticket prices. But the thing is, people want to see them play.
Is it? It's pretty old, right? The Garden, like the MSG,
I mean, of course, world's most famous arena.
Very old.
Like when you sit up in the nosebleeds, is it steep as fuck and like you're so far away?
It's not really like the worst seat in the house is not that bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not like
shaped arena.
It's not like Fenway where you're sitting in some seats and you're sitting behind a telephone pole or not a telephone pole, a damn pole. Yeah, a post where you can't see the damn game. It actually the layout's actually pretty good. They did a pretty good job with that. It had to be renovated.
I've never been there, dude. The one time I was in New York, it was the week before COVID started. I was with my mom and my brother, and they were going to some dinner or some show that I didn't want to go to. I literally almost bought a $30 nosebleed at MSG to go see the Knicks. It was like Knicks Hawks when the Knicks were like, this was 2020. And the Knicks weren't even that good. You know what I mean? The ticket was like $40, and I was like, how bad do I want to go to this fucking game?
It is pretty cool, I will tell you. I kind of take it like I don't really notice it because it's like the main arena that I go to. But if you look up and you like,
dude, everyone calls it the Mecca. Like everyone, I have to go to I want to go to a Knicks game there before a Rangers game, just because I don't have an NBA.
Awesome, I will say. You got to get over there.
Lots of good stuff, boys. Still no Ace here, so let's get moving here. Like I said, May 16th, tomorrow, a Thursday, PGA Championship begins at Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Lots of good stuff there. Huff was saying the course looks beautiful. I saw some videos of Tiger. He looked all right. But any comments on that?
Tiger and Phil in a group together.
Are they?
That's mad.
I like Rory. Here. I saw one hole.
You think he can bounce back?
I think it's going to make him even better. I think he just came off of a win last weekend. But dude, did you see the 13th hole? Dude, it's like like there's zero room for error. It's absolutely insane.
Is it
a par 4, I think. But they were saying like guys could be 120 yards out, and they still have to lay up because of the position that they're in. It's an island green, really tiny. And if you miss to the left, you're in the sand. If you pull
What hole is it?
13,
I'm looking it up.
it's definitely like a ridiculous hole. It's got to be the number one handicap on the course. But dude, like
Oh,
in the
shit.
fairway, if you miss to the left, you're fucked. If you miss to the right,
It's gonna roll so far.
it's a tough hole.
There's all those pot bunkers before it. If you're in one of those
They said-
bunkers, I would.
They said if
I
you're in
don't
the
even-
rough, it could be even worse than the bunker. And there's no way.
Well, for those guys,
And there's
I'd
no
rather be
way
in the rough.
that if you're not in the fairway that you can send the green because it's gonna roll. The green is so tiny, and it's an island, so you're just gonna find water.
Look at those rocks around that green. That's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
it's trouble all around. It's awesome though. I mean, you like to see those guys put
that's-
it like to, like 3 feet when they have all those hazards all around.
There's a tree like right in the way. Oh wait, that's the back of it. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
see that. Jesse, we might as
Yeah, I
well
was
just go
thinking
through
that.
the odds
So
for this real quick.
like we know, Rory took home the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, North Carolina this past weekend. What are we thinking for this upcoming weekend here? Scotty leading the board at plus 450, Rory behind him at plus 750, Shoffley at plus 1400, Brooks Koepka at plus 1600, and Ludwig Adberg at plus 1800 to round out those top 5.
So
I can't go against Scotty Scheffler, but I see why you like Rory. I think if you bet both of them, you're in a pretty good spot having the number 1 and number 2 golfer.
I
on your
heard
on your
that
side.
Rory plays this course phenomenally. So
He won it 10 years ago. That was his last
that's
major. Was the
insane,
PGA
10 years ago. But I heard like even when he doesn't win it, he plays his course very well. So he's a great candidate for it. Obviously, you can't go wrong with Scotty Scheffler. One thing that I saw, whom he may be injured, so take this with a grain of salt. But Will Zalatoris in majors shoots phenomenally, and he's plus 600 to make the top 10. I think that the value is crazy there, but I heard he could be a little injured, so I wouldn't go crazy on that. But
That's the thing that sucks about golf. You take those kinds of bets, guys just drop out. and
I'm
you're like,
definitely
"Fuck."
gonna sprinkle it though. Maybe throw like $25 on it. I mean, $25 gonna win you like, yeah, at
150
least.
plus 400 would be 100. That's what I said. So 150.
Right. Yeah.
That's definitely worth it.
Look at us doing math.
I truly like. The only math I know is gambling math. It's so sad.
Ask
dude.
him to do that equation without sports involved.
like
and you just can't do it.
Yeah, literally, I can't do it. 25 times 6, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. I like Scotty. I think Scotty could do the Grand Slam. I really think he can. Plus 400 or 450 on MGM here. I think you're in a good spot. Like I said, you take Scotty, you take Rory. I think both of those guys will at least finish top 3. Then someone might sneak in there and win it. But having those two guys, I'd much rather have them than obviously maybe a Brooks Koepka who won it last year. I hear a lot of people picking him. I love Brooks. I just don't think he's going to get it done back-to-back years. That's what a lot of people thought Rahm was going to do at the Masters. It's so hard to do that. Obviously, a different course, but same event. I like Scotty. I like Rory. If you like Koepka, I totally understand why. But Xander Schauffele, another one. He's been floating around top 5s the past couple of weeks. Tough finish last week as well against Rory. But give me Scotty. Give me Rory. Plus 450, plus 750.
Yeah, not bad. I'm gonna look at Rory for sure, and I like that Willie Z play. But other than that, probably won't have much action on this.
I just feel like betting against Scotty at this point is literally like betting against, like picking against Tiger Woods back then.
Yeah, it's tough, definitely. And when you bet against him, and he's like 4
It's-
strokes ahead of the next guy, and on Sunday,
Like, well,
on
he's
Sunday,
not
and you're
blowing.
just sitting there like, why am I so stupid trying to bet against him?
Yeah.
Alrighty, boys, good stuff there. Let's move over to the NBA here. Starting out, the Celtics have a 3-1 lead.
Oh, he's missing his Celtics.
Yeah,
Suck it,
3-1
Ace.
lead on the Cavs. Game 5 tonight here, Wednesday, starting in just under an hour, about 49 minutes from now. What are you guys thinking here for this series? Like I said, Game 5 tonight. Do the Celtics close it out in Boston?
I think we're on different sides of this one, Mackie. I like the Celtics. I definitely could not take a minus 16. I have a minus 4.5 in the first quarter, minus 8 in the first half. Obviously, just basically half what you got is the Cavs at the plus 16. But I think Celtics start fast at home, but I definitely can see them hanging around that.
I don't
16
necessarily
point.
think we're on opposite sides of this. I mean, I'm not going to say the Cavs going to win here, but I think that
I don't think anyone is saying, like, there's definitely people out there you'll watch Cavs win. You'll just see like a million Cavs. Like the money is, dude. It's a 92%
Game
split on the
4,
Celtics.
the line overcompensated for D. Mitch being out, and the Cavs covered. I mean, I think that the line's overcompensating again for him being out, and I think that they can cover a 16-point spread, even if it's
They're
by a
good
point or
without
two.
him.
I mean, this team can find a way to get points on the board. Darius Garland steps up big time. I think it's going to be Evan Mobley, of course, obviously too, but I think it's going to be big if Jared Allen can play. I'm not sure. I think he's doubtful anyway, but if he can get out there, I mean, I got a plus 16, I think that's great odds. But I mean, this team,
That's huge.
they're not bad. They're not bad. The Celtics are obviously a powerhouse. They don't really have any
Yeah.
weaknesses, and they should be able to take care of business tonight with no real sweat. But a 16-point spread, you can not sweat the entire game and still not cover a 16-point spread. So it's a little high. It's round 2. It's an elimination game. I'm just gonna go with the plus 16 here.
Yeah, I get it. I think it'll be a good.
But
I think
I
it'll
mean,
be a good play.
don't get me wrong. I do think the Celtics figure it.
I think
I think
the series is over tonight.
Like you guys said here, 15.5 point spread for the Celtics going into Game 5 here tonight. But let's head over to New York. The Knicks lead the series 3-2 over the Indiana Pacers. Game 6 on Friday, so a little bit of break here for these teams. Mackie, what do you think about your Knicks here? Is the game at home on Friday?
No, it's away. We just so
Did just talk about
basically
that.
Knicks are 3-0 at home, 0-2 on the road. Home teams are getting the job done. Indiana's a very good team. They like Huff said a million times, they're probably one of the best transition teams in the league. They get up the floor real quick and get to the basket real quick. And Siakam, I mean, he's been playing incredible basketball, but I don't know. I mean, they can't stop Jalen Brunson. When Jalen Brunson's on, and I know he's been injured for about 3-4 games of the series, but last night was just absolutely incredible, and it just showed that. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo shot 4 for 14 from the field, our second best scorer right there. I mean, I know he's not the second best player on the team; he is our second best scorer, and we still won by 30. Jalen Brunson had 44 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 12 offensive rebounds, which is huge over Miles Turner. I'm not going to say we're going to go into Indiana and win Game 6 because Indiana does play very good in front of their crowd. And Halliburton seems to show up when he's at home as well. He hasn't looked good in the Garden. But I can't see a scenario where the Knicks kind of drop 2 games in a row to this team. I think that this team's on a mission. I mean, they won by 30 last game, and there was just no smiles on the bench. And you saw the Pacers after Game 5 just showboating and acting like they already won the series and everything just because they tied it up. Or after Game 4, excuse me, just because they tied it up 2-2. Knicks took care of business last night. You didn't see a smile on that bench.
I think it was in the. I don't mean to cut you off. I think it was in the fashion they did it.
Knicks won by 30 last night
from the start. I know, but no. I'm saying after Game 4 when you said they were talking all that shit. Like you're coming off a 30-point win. You were down 2-0. You even up the series. You handled business at home. I definitely get it, but then it's not a good look to come back at Game 5 and then lose.
Exactly. And Tyrese Halliburton having 13 points, shooting the ball 9 times. I mean, that's your star player who's that's the guy who was talking shit last game about who can't guard him when you're up 25 points already. Like Dante DiVincenzo last game, we were down 5 points early. He's sitting there talking shit because when you do it when you're losing, it's so much more important than when you're doing it when you're up 25 points and you hit a meaningless 3.
Yeah, have you ever seen did you ever watch The Last Dance?
Exactly. He's sitting there in the locker.
Jordan, he goes, anyone can talk trash for the
sitting there in the locker
lead.
with a bat in his hand.
He goes, real man talks trash.
Exactly.
Down.
But I don't know. I think they definitely find a win in these next 2 games. I don't think they get it in Game 6, but give me the Knicks in 7.
Yeah, I think this is going 7 as well for everything you just said.
Good stuff there, boys. All right, now we have Ace joining us here. Ace, what's happening, dude? Make sure to unmute yourself before you talk. But what's going on?
Yeah, what's up, boys? Happy to get going on some sports here this week. Long day of work, it's the worst, but at least we get some good sports to bail me out tonight. Celtics tipping off here shortly, talking about some Bruins hockey, the rest of the NHL and NBA playoffs, and the MLB full slate every day. You know how that's going. I think plus 10 units on the card, maybe a little bit higher with some pending. So, Huff, nice Cubs hat. Love to see that. Haven't seen that one in a while. Division rival too. That's wild, but still.
About the side.
Yeah, it's just a
nice one nonetheless. But yeah.
It's like Matthew
right?
Braves hat.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but you're more competitive for the division than the Mets, so I don't know. I don't know if either of those teams are.
It's actually very close. They're both
pretty bad.
Neither of them are really competing
for the Mets tonight, so I don't know how good they're looking.
Ace, before you got on, I was telling Mackie I was wearing my Rockies fitted today, and then we put the Padres on the card. I immediately came up here
Yeah,
and switched
and
my
then
hat
meanwhile
to
they're
the
just
Cubs.
stomping the Padres. So
All right, we
that's
already got 2 wins.
a good scene. But
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
2-1
what are you gonna
day.
do?
That's
That's
good.
not too bad. But yeah, no, ready to get back into it. Heard you guys talking about some Knicks basketball there with Mackie. I sent that sticker in the chat earlier today. Glass bones, paper skin. Those Knicks just fighting tooth and nail. First time they've been to a round 2 since I think Moses read the scriptures.
Since
Um,
last year, I think, but
I don't know the last time they sniffed an NBA final. He likes to throw shade at the Celtics for losing finals. They would throw a parade for getting to the third round of the Eastern Conference. So I don't know really what shade there is to throw, but really hoping they can
Coming in
coming in hot
close
with
out the Indiana
that Celtics
Pacers.
team who hasn't won in 12 years either. But
Yeah, I
actually,
mean, what's
16 years.
Mackie?
You
What's the
haven't seen it
spread?
since
What's the
what?
spread night? What's the spread tonight?
Cavs plus 16, baby. Let's get it. Let's get going.
I didn't realize they were playing college football tonight, but I thought it was the NBA playoffs round 2. 16 points is pretty wild in my opinion. But hopefully you guys can close out these Pacers. That way we can get a New York-Boston series. Chips on the line. They keep making excuses for you. Julius Randle went down way back. Jalen Brunson
Making
gimping
excuse?
around. The injured lineup, they have enough ice packs to go around there, or you guys need to stop in Boston for some because we're not using any in these blowouts.
You're using one on Porzingis right now,
You
but
think? I
listen,
think
we
he's
don't
just
have any.
enjoying watching.
I don't need any excuses. All right, listen. If we go into Boston and we don't get the job done, we don't get the job done. But it is what it is, and
But
we're
that's
not
a
there yet.
successful
So
season nonetheless, right? For you guys?
The Knicks are playing with house.
Is it
Yeah, for
successful
sure,
if
for
you
sure.
guys don't win the championship?
I mean, it's never a successful season if you don't win a
All
championship.
right, good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, just looking forward to it. You know, we've been going at it a little for this. I just hope the Bruins can get there so we can actually get to the sport that we really care about and watch our teams go at it.
You know what game takes place before my Bruins game 6? A very, very important game 6 in Carolina.
Bruins are fighting to stay alive.
Hey,
Tooth
we're on
and
a
nail,
one-game
man.
heater. We're on a one-game heater. You guys are on a 2-game losing streak there. I mean, trending up for Boston, trending down for New York. Shesterkin's best days in the playoffs are behind him. maybe?
7-2 in the playoffs. 7-2. I think you guys have a losing record in the playoffs right now.
It's probably close to
Oh,
500.
wait, no, just 500. All right,
Yeah.
that's good enough for Boston
We're at the
sports.
same.
All right.
We're at the same point, though. I mean, when's the last time you saw your team raise the cup? We're looking to do it again for the first time since
You haven't
2011.
raised the cup in 13 years either. What are you acting like it was yesterday?
Multiply that 13 by like 4 or 5, and we got when the last time you guys raised the cup.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. You guys have had a lot of.
That's all you
It's
gotta
all
say.
right.
Yeah,
is
we
we'll
will
It's all
see.
right.
But yeah, no, we're still in the basketball world here, right? You guys, how many series you cover so far? Just the Knicks Pacers.
We did the Celtics, but I think we know
Yeah,
how
I
you feel
mean,
about that. If you want to get your 2
Donovan
cents in. We
Mitchell
both
is
said it's
afraid
over
to play the
tonight.
Celtics. The media is afraid to talk about them when they're doing well. So I guess we'll just stay on that until they raise the trophy because you can't talk about them.
We'll follow suit with the rest of the
Yeah,
media. We
right.
just won't talk about it.
You can't worry about them until they raise the trophy. If not, they suck. All right, yeah, let's keep it going there. Eastern Conference Finals. You think there's any chance the Pacers take the series though? Any chance?
I think there's a chance, but it's game 7. I'm excited for that game 7. but I
Nobody's
think the
lost
Knicks
on
will
home
handle-
court in that series, right? So it's almost guaranteed to go 7 then, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Good
for
value
sure.
on the
think
Knicks though. I took the Knicks in game 4 with the value too. We took them on the card on the plus, so they
Game
covered.
3.
Yeah.
Game 3 they covered. Game 4 they got blown out.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The day that we hit them on the card, I took them money line too. Ended up winning. So, I mean that series is interesting. But like Mackie's been saying about these Knicks, they're banged up, so it's kind of tough to get a true judgment on where they're at. But we'll have to monitor that. Maybe we'll get some Game 7 basketball to talk about in the Eastern Conference. I think we might on the Western Conference side. So if you guys want to jump to that, we can get talking about those 2 series.
Yes, sir. The Denver Nuggets are leading their series 3-2 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 6 on Thursday. Huff, what are you thinking about these Timberwolves?
I'm going to be the only one to say it. I do think they have a chance. I think they'll make the correct adjustments. It's going to be so hard for this team that their defensive ability is what got them to this point. That's what got them to the 2-0 lead over Denver. I think that they go home back to Minnesota in Game 6, handle business on their home floor. They're a 3.5-point favorite. I don't know what they do there. Obviously, I'm not real worried about that. I just want them to win the game. I think they go back. Gobert and Cat didn't have good games 3 and 4. Gobert looked a little better, I guess you could say, in Game 5, but Jokic torched him. Jokic had an MVP for performance, 40 points, 13 assists. 0 turnovers. First time I think it was the second most points by a player with more than 10 assists and 0 turnovers on NBA history. Number 1 is Chris Paul. Just another crazy stat. I would have never guessed that's who it was. But Jokic is special. I wouldn't be surprised if Nuggets wrap this up in Game 6. But I like Minnesota to handle business on their home floor. At least force that Game 7. Minnesota's 2-1 in Denver now. So if this gets to a Game 7, I'm not going to look ahead at this. But I'm definitely rooting for Minnesota, trying to bring home that future.
Here. Denver's closing this out tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, I was on the opposite side after Game 2, but I'll say I was an idiot. I'll eat my words. I counted out Jokic. I think it's over in 6 as well. I got a little caught up in
the Anthony Edwards hype.
It wasn't even the Anthony Edwards hype. It was the defense that they threw on Jamal Murray and how it affected the entire team. They couldn't do anything in that game too, and I got caught up in it. I thought that the Denver wouldn't be able to adjust, and obviously that's all they did was adjust and figured it out. And I mean, this team just they're way better than the Timberwolves.
They're the defending champions with the 3-time MVP.
The Timberwolves have a bright future. They have the roster to get there. Anthony Edwards just needs a few more years of experience. He plays very good basketball, but he has games where he I mean, last night at one point he was like 2 for 10 to start the game. I don't know what he finished with, but I mean, you can't be having those games as the number 1 player against the number 1 team in the league, number 2 team in the league.
There's no complete teams. You look at the whole playoff bracket. I was saying 16 or 20, however you look at it with these playing games. There's only 2 complete teams, and they're both the Celtics and the Nuggets, the 2 most feared teams in both conferences. Other teams have good players, good groups of players, playing well, playing good basketball, but those are the only 2 complete teams in the NBA. And I think we would be what's the word I'm looking for? We would be let down essentially if we don't get the finals with those 2 teams.
I agree. I mean, that's a perfect way to say it. Those 2 teams are just kind of destined for the finals. But this is, I mean, the series is not over.
Fashion, though. The series is not over. Yeah, they're going home.
I mean, they just lost 3 in a row
after being up
2 in their own building. They haven't won a game in their own building in the series.
This is just like Denver didn't win until the last game.
Yeah, but this is exactly what the Rangers did in the first round last year against the Devils. And once it was 3-2, even though we won Game 6, I mean, I knew it was over. There's just no life there.
Team's dead.
After being up 2-0 on the road and then going home and dropping both of them, I mean, it's just so hard to recover.
You know how you got the realization? Mackie just admitted to it. You both got the realization. I said it from the start. I was like, they're down 2-0. I don't care. It's the defending champions with Jokic, with that deep roster. We know what they can do. We've seen them do it. Maybe if you're starting to realize it, if all of us are starting to realize it, you don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves, there's real estate in their head right now thinking, oh, shit, maybe we got pretty lucky with those first 2. The Nuggets have came to play. They've kicked our shit in multiple games in a row.
Hey, Ace, Jalen Brunson or Ant Edwards?
Yeah, I'd still take Ant Edwards. I mean, come on, Jalen Brunson.
Tomorrow you're taking Anthony Edwards.
He's gonna win.
Yeah, did you hear what Anthony Edwards said to the security guards on the way out of the building?
What?
I'll see you guys for Game 7 on whatever it would be, Sunday or
maybe he's
Monday.
Playing in an online franchise or something. But
he had 18 points last night. Jalen Brunson hasn't had 18 points since 2022.
Right, Mackie, relax though. Look at who they're playing: the Indiana Pacers versus the Denver Nuggets.
Oh my god!
How much better are the Nuggets than the Pacers? Come on now.
Okay, let's go back to the last series when the Timberwolves were playing the Suns, the worst defensive team in the entire league.
The Suns were better than the
They're not defensively better. There's no worse defensive team.
The Pacers actually gave up the most points in the NBA this year.
They scored the most points in the NBA this year.
And they also gave up the most. They were the number 1 highest scoring team, both offensively and defensively. Look it up. I'm hoping he's looking it up.
What else are we doing here? The Boston Celtics. Oh wait, never mind. They're number 1.
I was gonna say that sounded way off.
Mackie was gonna be so happy for a second. He was like, "Wait, they're not
actually." Good. No, the Orlando Magic are number 1. Celtics are 3.
Oh really?
Oh, this is playoffs. This is playoffs.
Go to the bottom.
Playoffs. Suns were 16.
Well, didn't they get swept?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It was a good defense versus clearly the
Yeah,
worst
but just
defense
saying,
in the
all
playoffs.
three of these teams are just a flash in the pan. The Mavericks, the Thunder. I mean, the Timberwolves. They're going to be good for years to come. But in this current season, flash in the pan. Denver Nuggets, much more seasoned team, much better veteran presence. I think when they were down 2, I think I might have asked this on the last podcast. Is what was their series odds? What was their Western Conference odds? What were their title odds? Because that would have been something interesting to look at.
When they were down 2-0, the Nugget you could have
Yeah,
got the
that's
Nuggets at
craziness.
13-1.
And
Pacers are 24, by the
What are
way,
they at
regular
now?
season.
I should have like I admit I should have hedged my bet when as soon as the Wolves went up 2-0, I should have bet the Nuggets to win the West because I could have got them at plus 650. I could have had them both at 650 and 750. It would have guaranteed cashed one of them. Not guaranteed, but I think one of them. I think whoever got out of that series was going to win the West.
Other than that, how much did the Nuggets jump in their finals ranking too to be champions to repeat? I mean, they're clearly number 2 behind the Celtics now.
Dude, at one point when the Nuggets were down 2-0, the Celtics were like minus 115 to win the finals.
Did the Nuggets coming back into the hunt help the Celtics line?
The Celtics are back to like I think plus 140.
Just because
that's that high.
That's the only team.
Yeah.
Mackey's gonna ride.
I mean, I think that's good odds.
Let me see, Mackie. I'll check. Mackie, I'll check it.
I don't think you can get those odds in New York.
NBA Finals plus 160.
I see minus 130 on the Celtics to win the championship.
MGMS plus 160.
Shop. I got Nuggets plus 275.
Let me see. I'll see what I have the Nuggets at. I'm locking it in right now. I was looking at it on that BetStamp app, so that it might be a little off because I've had some where they're off. Let me see what it actually is.
It's funny because Celtics.
All right, so yeah, now it says Celtics minus 125.
The Celtics
so that's
have the best odds, and then the next 4 teams are all the Western Conference teams.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it should be.
Let's move into this Mavs Thunder series, and then we'll close.
Yeah,
out
Mavs and Thunders here. Series tied at 2 apiece. Game 5 here tonight on Wednesday. What are you guys thinking as this series here continues?
I think the Thunder handle business tonight on their home floor. I like them minus the 4.5. I'm probably going to take it. I might buy it to 4 just to be safe, but I think they'll handle business on their home floor. Luka looks injured. Kyrie's been great this series. Obviously, he had an off game last game. I think he'll be a bigger presence this game. The role players for Dallas have had to step up when Luka hasn't been doing well. I just think this Thunder team is very good at home. Lou Dort is frustrating Luka. It's very clear about that. He's had his number for not even just this series. It's been, I remember hearing about this I think it was last year, and obviously not in the playoffs, but throughout the past couple of years, he's been, obviously he's one of the more well-known defenders in the NBA, handling superstars, but he's having a hell of a playoff run. I like this Thunder team tonight minus the 4.5. By the time you're listening to this, this game will be over, but I think we'll be looking at a 3-2 OKC lead heading back to Dallas.
Lou Dort also had Brandon Ingram shooting like 24% in the last series. So it's not a fluke. He's doing his job, and he's great.
He's good.
I don't know. I don't have a play on the game tonight. I do think that the Mavericks find a way to get this done in 7, though. PJ Washington's been a huge player for this team. 3 straight 20-point games. I just think Luka needs to figure it out a little, and if he can, I think that OKC's in trouble. Like I said earlier in the series, they're a young team, clearly very inexperienced. Whenever they go down a little, they just kind of huck up threes and do what they can. But I mean, they're the number 1 seed, and in game you're literally up in the series, and in it was tied 1-1. Number 1 seed is fouling a guy with 6 minutes left, only down 8 points, just so he could shoot free throws and possibly brick them because he's like a 30% free throw shooter. But I mean, that's just like not a winning mentality. You're a number 1 seed. You should be controlling the pace of play. You should be controlling everything. You would never see the Celtics or the Nuggets doing that. And this team is just trying to. I think that they're just trying to stay alive and get to the next series and maybe get lucky against the Nuggets. But this team is not built for a championship this year. Maybe in the next few years, they obviously have the future. But I'm gonna go Mavs in 7 here, and I think that I don't know. I don't know what happens tonight. Ace, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Thunder handle it. I actually threw together a nice little 3-teamer on the money line. I went with Thunder, Celtics, and added the Nuggets for tomorrow night. Just because I couldn't really find like a great singular play I wanted to stick with. But I think their depth is the biggest reason that they're going to take the series home. I know you're not too high on them. I've also said they're ahead of schedule, but they've earned this home court advantage. I think that's going to be massive because I do think the series goes 7. Like you guys, we've seen how it's already 2-2. It's been balancing back and forth along the way. If the Mavericks can somehow steal tonight's game, I think there's a chance they take it in game 6, but I don't think so. I think it's going to go Thunder, Mavericks, Thunder.
You remember how those Mavs play in Game 7s? They blew out the Phoenix Suns by like 40 on their home court.
Was that last year?
Nah, I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, different teams, but I just think that the depth with this Thunder team is going to be able to take them home. I like them during the season. I know that we don't want to go too high, and whoever comes out of the series, we're all in agreement. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
they're going to lose the next round.
I think this Thunder team, I underestimated them. I think they'll give someone more of a run for their money. This Mavericks.
All I'm saying is that the Celtics would be licking their chops to get OKC
young
in the finals.
Thunder. Yeah, the one thing that the Thunder do have over everybody else, they have less tread on those tires though. So as we get later and later in rounds, we've seen, like you said, the Mavericks. We talked about the Knicks getting banged up. Porzingis out for the Celtics. Guys go down. Those young legs are something that are.
Ace, like I was saying to Mackie, I said I feel like you could look back on like most championships in like the past. Obviously, this is just straight off the top of my dome. Like I didn't actually look at this. I'd say like 60% of the time, the team that wins the championship is just the healthiest team.
And that's true. I mean, in the NBA, it's a little bit different.
And like the Celtics, to their credit, they're up 15-20 with 4 minutes left every fourth quarter. So Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they don't have to play.
About with you guys earlier, like you can rest these guys. A lot of these series are a grind, going 6 or 7. If the Celtics close out tonight, they're sitting pretty once again.
Like that game, I took Tatum's over point prop. He didn't even play the
I kind of knew that was going to happen. I wish you could take a. I wish you
did say that.
Because we'll get it there, but.
Ace, I kind of know your answer here. I don't mean to get off track here, but are you kind of worried about the lack of
meaningful play?
No,
yeah,
really
I heard that. No, that's what I thought you were going to say, and that I've heard someone say, is it weird that the Celtics are about to be in the Eastern Conference Finals and they haven't been in a single memorable playoff game yet?
I mean, I think that they're going to have to try a little harder against the Knicks. Don't get me wrong. If the Knicks get there, I think if they'd rather. Would you rather see the Pacers?
I'm not trying to hurt any.
No, I'm asking you a genuine question.
I don't think it matters.
It's like, who would you rather see, the Magic or the Cavs? He even said that he did say the
I
Magic,
would rather see the Pacers, yes. Because
that's because the Cavs are...
I don't know. I'd rather see the Pacers, I guess.
Because they don't have a dog like Jalen Brunson. That's exactly why you wouldn't want to see them. Exactly
no, I just think the atmosphere of the Knicks and their stadium and the rivalry of New York Boston would drive.
It's a harder place to play.
And it's a big market, so you can't give the calls as much. Whereas we've seen it in the Knicks series. If the Celtics were to take on the Pacers, they'd get those home cooking extra ref calls like the Knicks have gotten in game 1 or 2.
Right, but my real question is: Are you more worried about the lack of production that Jason Tatum has had
Not
so
at all.
far? Even though obviously he hasn't needed to be that guy yet, but I mean, he's gonna have to flip the switch sooner or later.
You think? I mean, eventually.
He's gonna have to. If they play the Nuggets in the championship, you're gonna tell me that team can get by without Jason Tatum playing like Jason.
It's still a long road for we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think I said it when we started talking about the NBA, even when we were alluding to the playoffs. It doesn't start for the Celtics until the finals. And I don't think it will. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's something to think about.
You cannot say we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and then it doesn't start till the NBA finals.
Like I've been saying that.
That's like contradicting yourself. You just said like the two exact opposite things.
We'll talk about it then. Like I don't think it personally matters too much. I think it's better to have the rest under their belt. I'd rather have the rest. But these have been like 30-point games, 20-point games. It's so crazy.
No, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. They haven't been in a memorable playoff moment yet. Like they've won by 20 or they lost to the Heat by 15 at home and they lost to the Cavs by
because it sounds like they're being it's funny because it sounds like they're being faulted for that when in reality it's like
no.
Like it's not their fault.
They literally have not been in an intense come down to the wire game in this entire playoffs.
They haven't been in a game where it's a 10-point game.
They have not been in an intense game yet.
I mean, we're a season name. Have they even had a tough game during the regular season? Really? Like not many.
No, you guys would you go 62 in a game, whatever?
I think. Oh wait, no, they didn't.
And it wasn't just like it turned up at the end. It was from right off the get-go, boom. And I think the craziest thing is you have Porzingis sitting on the sidelines, and you just get to wait to add him to the mix. And when do you add him to the mix in the ECF? Not at all. Do you think he's off the table completely till the finals, or do you think maybe if they drop one in the ECF early, it's like, all right, maybe we'll put him back in here?
Here's the thing: is he actually healthy, or are they just?
They said he could have when he on his initial injury. I don't think we get the full actual report. I would like to see if their backs were against the wall or if it was close against the wall. If he play, but they said he could have been back in 2 to 3 weeks from the time of the injury. It's been 2 weeks.
At this point, they're going to
at
wait till next
yeah.
series at least.
I don't know. I think that I mean, obviously, as a Celtics fan, you're not going to worry right now, but
I wouldn't even be
That's
surprised
what
if he
I'm
doesn't
saying.
play game 1 of the
I
next
don't
round.
think he.
And if you
that's what
guys
I'm
win,
saying,
they might not
until
play
they
game
lose.
2. It's
Yeah,
going to be a game by game
I
thing.
just think that's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's the way. I mean,
with his injury history, though, I feel like
Mackie, if they win
that's
games
not the
1 and
way
2
to
by
do
20
it, though.
points,
I mean,
they're
you want to
definitely
get him
not.
back in like the mix of things. You don't want to play. You don't want to keep playing team
I don't
basketball
think
without him.
that's it. I don't think that's true. I think that the right way the way they're looking at it is they'd rather just make sure he's healthy. They don't want to risk re-injuring him and not having him when they need him most. What they got him for, because this team got to the finals against the Golden State Warriors. You like to talk about that a lot, and they brought in this piece specifically. This was one of the missing pieces, so you need that missing piece for that final battle. My opinion. So we'll have to see. But a lot more interesting stuff happening in the West, and perhaps tonight's game is the most impactful game left with the Mavericks and the Thunder.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Let's run through these power rankings here to wrap up the NBA. Coming in at number 5, those Dallas Mavericks. Number 4, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 3, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. And number 1, those Boston Celtics sticking up there for yet another week. Any comments on that before we head over to the NHL?
Wait till Minnesota wins this series. That graphic's going to look a lot different come next week.
If they do, you are right, but I don't think it will happen.
They'd jump the Thunder. They'd go right back to 2.
Yeah, one thing I would like to say is how long have the Celtics been our 1 spot? Have they literally been there the whole year?
The entire.
They've never.
Why would
came
they?
out of it.
That's what I thought
would
the Dodgers were going to do, but baseball's different.
Their only real competition would have been the Nuggets, and the Nuggets didn't really have the best regular season.
And they're not in the same conference.
Yeah, like they don't have a chance to
0-2 this year against the Nuggets. Remember that, Ace. Lost a tight one. Those tight games, you got to worry about them.
But yeah. Hey, we said it all. I said before the playoffs started. The finals is when it starts, and the only team that will give them a tough series is the Nuggets.
Doesn't matter. You got to
And
get.
doesn't it look like that's? Isn't that look like it's true?
It doesn't matter if they're another good team. You got to get it done. If you lose that finals, I mean, you can't be like, oh, we were so close this year. We'll get them next year.
No, yeah, they definitely want the finals, but it's not an easy test. This guy's won how many MVPs in a row? They literally just won the finals last year. I mean, it's a pretty valid opponent, especially what they're doing in this series to a good Timberwolves team. Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Next few weeks are going to be interesting for sure.
Finally.
Alrighty. Heading over to the NHL here. We are getting through this second round, gearing up here for the end of it for most of these series. Starting off with the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins. The Florida Panthers are leading the series 3-2. Game 6 Friday in Boston. What are you thinking, Ace, as your Bruins approach Game 6 at home?
Yeah, Jeremy Swayman continuing to stand on his head, even in losing efforts. If you're just a box score watcher, you would think maybe pull the plug. We've heard that, right? But really, if you watch these games, he's the reason that they're in it the whole time. Guys making incredible saves night in and night out. The only way to beat him is with bouncing pucks, crazy odd man opportunities, special teams. So he's standing on his head, and that's the whole reason. Bruins got to play their game, though. They have chances, they have looks, and they kind of did that in Game 5, earned themselves the right to get to a Game 6. And this is the revenge series. They got to look to do what they did to the Panthers last year. We know the Panthers can score. If the Bruins stay out of the box, they'll be successful. But their defensive core has been pretty strong. Carlo having a good playoff run up to this point. Has a few points too, which is crazy to see. McAvoy with the big goal last night. People kind of hating on Charlie McAvoy for his high amount of turnovers, which is crazy to me. I mean, that guy plays so many minutes night in, night out, and the way he plays the game too is just something to be yearned for. But he's got the black eye, scored the game winner last night, so he's all into it. Yeah, I think the non-goalie interference calls on both goals is what's crazy to me. Both Bruins that changed the series from being 2-2 to 3-1, and then
that's why you got the second
hockey.
Yeah,
but how crazy is that?
If they
Could you imagine? Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Ace. I was sitting in my basement. I was like, "Please call this goalie interference." I can't wait for your reaction.
The Bruins, that would have been absolutely fucked. But that's hockey. That's hockey over the NBA. I mean, they make it. If you're gonna call it one way, you call it the same way on the other side. And they're both game winners. So, or I don't think the first one was game winner.
But essentially,
yeah.
big time goals nonetheless. But it's crazy. I don't know about you guys, but that should not have been a goal. I mean, that's wild.
Neither of them should have been goals.
Yeah. Even the NHL.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
neither of them should have been goals.
I mean, I'm not gonna count the Bruins out yet. Not the thing is, they got to get shots on goal. Their 3 losses in a row.
Yeah, they did.
They had 15 shots on goal, 17 shots on goal, and then 18 shots on goal. That win last night, they had 13 shots in the first period. So they figured something out there. They got the Bobrovsky. I know they only had 2 goals, but they're figuring out a way to get pucks in the net here. And Swayman's standing on his head as well. So you're gonna need 2 huge performances out of Swayman. You're probably gonna get dominated in both these games, but that's just hockey. It doesn't matter. I mean, Rangers could have been dominated too. It doesn't matter. You're getting the job done. So I wasn't even a shot at the Bruins, but
no, yeah. But if you watch the last game, last game was probably their second best game of the series. Obviously, their second win, so you would assume that makes sense. But they played their game, and like Mackie said, the games where they went on that 3-game losing streak, not only were they low shot totals, like you counted for those stats, but in the first 2 periods, they didn't get going until there was like 10 minutes left to go in the game. So it was nice to see them come out off the jump last night and get going right there. Swayman doing his thing. Montgomery animated on the bench too. And the physicality in the series. I don't know if you guys have noticed that Bruins Leafs series was setting records for the amount of hits in games, and then this series is setting the record for the amount of hits in a series. So it's kind of crazy, the Bruins, what they're going through, playing grinded out hockey. We saw Marchand out of the lineup too. That's a huge thing to notice. Your captain, your mainstay in the lineup, winning without him is great to see. We'll get to see if Pete's going back here in Game 6, but it's been a fun one so far. Everything we expected, and love the physicality of it. And it's going to be some cinema on Friday night. Hopefully, we get to talk to you this weekend during our live stream for Game 7 for the Bruins.
Series predictions:
Bruins 7. That's what I said for the series.
I thought Florida was going to win it last night. That was a big momentum swing because now they're going back to Boston. I think it's going to be a tough one there, but Florida's 2-0 up there this series, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Florida close it out. I still like Florida to win the series, but I'll say 7 to win it back in Sunrise.
I'm gonna say the away team wins the series. So either Panthers in 6 or Bruins in 7.
It'd be
if you get to 7, I mean,
how much do we need? Bruins Game 7 win over the Leafs, and then Bruins reverse 3-1 against.
Well, that's the
Panthers.
thing is that last year they dicked you guys with it. So I mean, you get the Game 7
right back
in Florida. You're gonna do
maybe
it right
this
back
was the script. No Marchand, down 3-1. Here we go, boys. I just bought a nice Marchand jersey too. Dropped 260 on it, and now he's not playing. Yeah, right when it comes in. I mean, that's a tough punch. I don't know if you saw that one from Bennett. How's cheap shot? If that's regular season, how much is he getting fined and suspended?
Cheap shot, yeah, but I mean, couldn't have happened to a fucking better player. King of cheap shots. Don't act like Marchand's a little fucking.
He's an angel.
Don't act like he's innocent.
Man. He's an angel. That's why I got to see.
Yeah, no, that's his style of play. So what goes around comes around. But let's see.
All I'm waiting for is
what happened?
Will anybody?
I mean, obviously, it was that schnoz that he hit. I mean, he can't miss it.
That wasn't the injury. That wasn't
what happened.
You know what's funny though? That hit isn't the injury. Like that sucker punch to the face. Like that one was a penalty and malicious and all that. But his injury actually came out a later hit that he sent out to somebody else.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was from that. I thought that was why they were bitching so much because there was no repercussion.
No, just because like that shot to the face. Like I don't know.
No, yeah, it's dirty for sure.
But other than that, yeah, I'm just waiting for somebody to drop the mitts with Pat Maroon. These Panthers are so afraid of him.
What else is he out there for? I mean, Montgomery's trying to.
He's playing good hockey.
He's out there. Come on, man.
He's got.
I turned the game on the other day. They gave him the puck, and he just gives it right to the Panthers.
No, his forecheck. He's a presence on the forecheck, creating turnovers, and he's actually been nice at getting the puck out of the zone too.
That's like Rangers fans backing up Rempe.
Yeah, and he just gets right.
No, but when you watch the game, you're like, he actually does make valid plays, but I can see why you think he's terrible. But
yeah, dude, Mackie, when I watch Rempe, it looks like he looks like a moose.
He looks like he's like shaky on his legs. I mean,
he looks like
honestly, I want him over our other guy that would be in the lineup is Brodzinski, and he just has zero impact altogether. So I mean, at least Rempe has the intimidation factor.
Yeah, at least he'll fight somebody.
Get the defenseman to get rid of the puck quick or something.
Yeah, so go Bees. Let's get into this Canes Rangers series because this one's starting to heat up after a 3-0 start.
Yeah, other series here in the East. The New York Rangers lead the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2 after the Hurricanes took another one on Monday. Game 6 on Thursday. Mackie, what do you see your Rangers doing here as we approach Game 6?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'd put my life on it. They get one of these next two games. This team all season built. Huff, you're making that face. I don't know why you're making that face. Like this team wasn't the
Life
President's
on it.
Trophy winners. Couldn't find ways to get it done.
Life on it. I was going to say,
I
is
don't
this their
know.
curse? Maybe
But,
is it coming
dude, Sean
around
Avery
late?
said it best. What team wins the cup without adversity? They have to battle through this. This is the type of things that they got to battle through to get to a cup. And this team all season, I've said it. What'd you say? What games? No,
I'm not
I was
questioning
reading
you.
what
I
I
think
was
they won
reading
the
what Ace was
series,
saying.
too.
But I would actually put my life on it that this team finds a way to get it done. You have not seen anything out of Trocheck, Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider out of the last two games.
Show us the life slip. Show us
if
the
that
life
can go-
slip.
Oh, you'll see it. If that can go on for two more games, then I'll eat my words, I guess. But I just don't see it happening. Igor's bound to steal one here or there. These are close games, in and out. There's no
Mackie,
way.
what happened in these last two games that they lost versus what was going right for them in the first three?
You're just talking about bounces
7.
here. You're just talking about bounces. We get 3 wins in the first 3 games, all on like it's just the luck of the draw. The pucks are going our way. Game 2 was a double overtime winner.
Yeah.
I mean, that could go either way at any point. Igor standing on his head late in these games. I mean, that last game, Game 5, you got to win that game. You're up 1-0 going into the third period. You have 20 minutes for the rest of the series, and you just absolutely blow it.
Yeah,
Lazy plays by Roslovic, lazy plays by Zibanejad. It's just you got to get the job done here. There's no way that this team doesn't find a way to get a win in the next 2 games. I'm going to say they get it done in Game 6 in Carolina. You guys are probably going to say it's going to be in Game 7, if at all, if you guys think they're going to win. But there's no way this team loses 4 games in a row. There's no way. And if they do, then you guys can clip this and blow me up and do whatever you want, but it's not going to happen.
Mackie, you know what's crazy?
No, yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to lose the series either. I have the Rangers. I do think it might go 7, but I also have the factor that like if this does go 7, Carolina's won. That game 5. Yeah, they're coming on a 3-game heater. I kind of like the Rangers to just close things out.
What's crazy though is if you think about it, when they went down 3-0 in that third game, they went to Kochetkov. They turned back to Anderson, the guy who got yanked in an 0-3 series. Are you guys just not getting enough pressure on him? Is there not enough quality looks? Are the Hurricanes just controlling the game?
Yeah, but that's the thing is that in the first 3 games, you look at the shots, and if you want to look at the shots in every game and just determine a winner on the shots, then you're just an idiot because we have been outshot. But if you look at the high danger scoring chances, Rangers cleared easily. The expected goals for the series, we were up like 4 goals in that sense. Like we're getting the better chances. Canes are just skating around the zone with their head chopped off. They can't find anything. They just end up throwing it at the net and it ends up getting cleared. Rangers were getting really good chances. They were playing really good hockey in the zone, cycling the puck, getting good chances on their goalies, and they were getting the bounces because of it. And I don't know if they got comfortable. I don't want to say they got comfortable because you're playing the second best team in the league, in my opinion. You're not going to get comfortable against a team like that. But now they're getting the better chances. They're getting the bounces. It takes 1 game for it to flip. And you can't tell me that this team who won 55 games this year found a way to get wins all season isn't going to find a way to get those bounces in one of these last 2 games.
And what
I think the Rangers will win in overtime in Game 6. I think it'll be one of those lower scoring 2-2 games goes overtime. It'll be similar to that Game 2
going
matchup.
to Game 7. Guaranteed. Carolina is one of the toughest places to play. I know they split there and they already grabbed one, but thinking back,
a crucial Game 3.
That's what I'm saying. You guys split already on their ice, but if you look back previously to this series in the Carolina home ice success and what that building's like to play in, you would like to think that on a 2-game win streak with their backs against the wall, they're able to force a Game 7 here. If you go back to what Huff and I were saying on the live stream last week, you kind of knew that they weren't sweeping the Carolina Hurricanes. This was the Carolina Hurricanes that many picked to win the Stanley Cup. They loaded up. Jake Gensel, been the trade deadline acquisition that they very much hoped them to be, carrying that offensive load for the Carolina Hurricanes.
He has been the best player on that team.
And they gave up a haul to get him, and it's rightfully so for this run. He's got their playoff lives on his back right now. And you got to think, we expected 7 coming into the series. At least I did. I had Canes in 7. You got to think that it's going to go to 7 here. I mean, going back home, Rob Brendamore is going to have that team going. He's got the winning mentality. It's not ECF, so we know that they can definitely win a series here. But Yeah, I think it's going to be tight games throughout. I like the under
I-
in these remaining
I had the
games.
Canes in 6.
Oh, I hate to break it to you, Huff.
Yeah, thanks, Mackie.
No, I mean that's fair. That's definitely fair. I mean, it's going to be tough to go into Carolina and get a win, but it's also going to be tough to beat the best team in the league 3 times in a row.
Mackie,
Game 3 was crucial. The difference between going down 3-0 and the difference between being down 2-1 for the Hurricanes at that point was huge. They win the game 4. Not to say, I mean, if the Rangers could have stole game 4, it'd be the same situation going back to New York. But it's you have to handle business on home ice. That's what I'm.
And the difference about winning game 3 instead of game 4, it's still a 3-1 regardless. Then you got to win four games in a row. You know how hard it is to win 4 games in a row, especially against the President's Trophy winners. I mean,
Mackie, how massive?
Just the same team in general.
Game 6, regardless of win or lose, just for competability, you have to compete in this game. If there's a score where you guys get stopped by 3+, then is there any?
Is game 6 a must win?
Must win at all, but you have to play well. You can't get stomped in game 6, or else the morale is way too low going into game 7.
Yeah, but I mean the chances we get stomped are slim to none, and I really hope I don't.
If there was a team, to be able to do some stopping, it would be this Carolina Hurricanes team.
We just played 5 straight head-to-head. I know last game was 4-1, but it was 3-1 with an empty net, and it was 1-0 going into the third period. We just played 5 straight neck-and-neck games. I don't see them stomping on our necks in this game. I think there's no chance.
I think we're gonna get 7 in both these Eastern Conference series, and it's gonna be fun to watch. We both have loaded rosters to go against, Mackie. You guys are in the driver's seat in your series, and you have that home ice advantage, so it'll be interesting.
We knew coming into the playoffs, we knew this East was a gauntlet. I mean, it's in this
second round, and we knew this second round would be.
And they are the 4 best teams too.
Yeah,
so it's good. It's a good series. You know, you love it. You love the adversity. If there's no adversity, I mean, there's nothing there. So just battle through it.
Alrighty, heading over to the West now. The Vancouver Canucks lead the Edmonton Oilers 2-2, a tied series. Or wait,
they lead it 2-2.
Yeah,
I said lead. I don't know why. Tied with the Edmonton Oilers 2-2. Game 5 on Thursday here tomorrow. What are you guys thinking here? Great series. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll get into this real quick. I'm on different sides than you guys on this one. I think I'm more of just an Oilers hater, not a McDavid hater because he's an absolute dog. But Keaton Pickard gonna get the job done here? I don't think so. I mean, they have to go coming into the playoffs. Stuart Skinner was looked at as a top 4 goalie coming into the playoffs at the end of the season. I was saying that they were saying everyone was but everyone was saying Oilers finally got the goalie that they needed to get through the playoffs with this loaded roster. No, they don't. I don't know if it's the pressure of getting McDavid his first championship, or I couldn't tell you what it is, but they always seem to shit the bed. And when you're playing the Canucks, who get these chances left and right, Keaton Pickard is not going to get the job done, in my opinion. Whatever his name is, Calvin Pickard, however the fuck you want to say it. He's not getting the job done. He's a third string goalie on most teams. I just don't. This Canucks team is too good, and they're playing really well.
Canucks have a third string goalie.
Who you guys thought had no chance, who had 42 saves in that Game 3 win. So how's he doing? He's doing well. He's shutting down McDavid better than almost any goal he has this entire season, and they have a 2-2 series lead with home ice advantage in the next 3 games. So
2-2 series tie. You and Jesse with the. It's not a lead.
It feels like a lead at this point. They have a 2-2 series tied, and they're going back home for 2 out of 3. So I think they get the job done in 7. You can tell me why you guys like the Oilers in 5.
Because 6. The Oilers are the best team, and they haven't even played their best hockey yet, but they're winning this in 6. They should win it in 5 because that's how badly they're going to beat these Canucks. But no, I mean, you got to give credit to Rick Tocchet in this Vancouver Canucks team. I think the game plan that he's instilled on how to defend McDavid, you've seen these hits they've been putting on him. Nobody hits McDavid like that. And these skilled players, if they can stay out of the box, the Canucks have a chance. I just think the deadly skilled players of the Oilers are going to get going. It's a tied series now, so you basically get to reset. It's a best of 3. I think that their group is going to be able to get it done. Maybe that goalie switch sparked them, just like Solovs is sparking the Canucks, playing well in front of them. He's new to the scene. So I think maybe that's another way to look at it. But I just think the special teams unit for the Oilers is going to carry them the rest of the way. And I don't know about you, but every time I watch these games, because they usually come on right after the Bruins, the Oilers are buzzing right off the bat. And then it takes the Canucks a while to get back into it. So if the Canucks can jump out to an early lead, maybe they can take home a game. But it's always that late push by Vancouver. Even last night, we saw with that win, The Oilers were able to score late in the game to take it in regulation, but the Canucks are never dead, and they have that depth. They have star power up front. Can't count them out. I just don't think they get by this Oilers team. I think McDavid, Draisaitl, the rest of the group is due to get to the next round. And kudos to these Canucks because they're giving me a lot more of a headache than I expected. But I've got the Oilers in 6 here. I think they win them back to back here to get into the next round.
I don't know. I think Vancouver's, it's been a tough place to play throughout this, obviously these playoffs in general. I know Nashville had success there, but that crowd is definitely up there as one of the better ones left. They definitely love that team, and they, like you said, for good reason. I underestimated this team coming into the playoffs, like you said, giving me more of a headache than I expected. I thought the Oilers that would just kind of handle business and get this done in 5 games before the series. But I do like the Oilers. I think it might take 7. It's going to be tough to win 2 games in Vancouver. I think more like Ace said, I think if the Oilers win the series, it's going to have to be in 6.
It's going to be tough considering it's a 2-2 series, but so series prediction, I'm going to go Canucks in 7. Ace, I think he has Oilers in 6. Huff, what do you got?
I'm going to go Oilers in 6 because I think if it goes 7, I think
Edmonton
Vancouver wins.
here.
But Ace,
Alrighty.
so Ace, one quick question: who is the with your team still being in the East playoff hunt? Who would you most want to see in that Stanley Cup?
Most want to see the Canucks. The Canucks.
Vancouver.
Least want to. No,
Colorado at this point.
To be honest,
but I wouldn't want to see the Stars, and I would want to see the Oilers. I mean, you know what's? I mean, I would want to see the Canucks. You know what's nice though is my bracket. We put our brackets together. Bracket challenge, free plug right there. I got the Stars and the Oilers in the West. There's a good chance that they meet up there.
Yeah.
Stars, Oilers, Canes, Bruins. I'm going to need some crazy comebacks in the East, but
yeah, I got the Panthers and the Rangers in the East, so hopefully
Mackie, your West is dead to rights though.
I have the Winnipeg Jets winning the Western Conference, so yeah, that's been dead in the water for.
Actually, no, I don't. I picked against both. I have yeah, I did have Carolina winning the series. That's right. I have them winning the cup.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting soon.
Alrighty. Moving over to this other Western Conference series, the Dallas Stars lead the Colorado Avalanche 3-1. Game 5 tonight. Do the Dallas Stars close it out? Will we hear less about the Avs? What do you think, Ace?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do. And Mackie put almost 2 units on their money line. I might be telling you there, Mackie. I saw a quote from Nathan MacKinnon that I've never seen before in my life from a superstar of that potential. And they said, Nathan MacKinnon, what's your confidence on the Avs to get back in the series? It's not super high, he goes. So that makes me think they've already got their golf bags packed. They're going to hang out with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner down in Cobb.
Ace, I was already leaning Stars. I saw this, and that's why I threw 1.5 units on it. With the whole, I mean, you played sports your entire life. You know locker room problems are a real thing. The whole thing with Nichushkin, I mean, he was on a 9-game goal streak before that happened. I think this team is kind of depleted. I think a lot's been going on in the locker room. I think half this team's checked out already. And, I mean, the Stars team's playing so well. They have Jake Ottinger and net playing at the top of his game.
How good is Wyatt Johnson? The Rook.
Absolutely incredible. He's a difference maker. He's a complete difference maker right now.
He's not even close to the best player on the team.
He could be up there.
Well, he's playing like it. He's playing like it. But if you just went star power, you went down the list, like they have a lot of different firing options.
You're right. And you know what? They've shut down their top 3, McCarr, McKinnon, and Rantanen. I think they have, what is it?
Yeah,
Ace,
here it is.
Scroll through it. Say it.
McCarr, 0 points, -6. McKinnon, 1 apple, -6. Mikko Rantanen, 1 goal, -5.
Is that in the whole series?
Yeah, that's coming into
that
tonight.
Is just when you're able to play a team like that with the 3 best players. You're going to take those 3 best players and put them on any team, and there's the 3 best players on almost every single team.
Do you remember before this series when they were talking about Cale Makar being the best defenseman of all time with all of his point accolades in the playoffs, and he's the best playoff performer? And it's true.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even a stretch, but the fact that they're doing this against them, and I think there's a lot going on in that Avs locker room, and I don't think their head's in it. I think the Stars are.
We talked about this before, and this is why I had the Stars going so far in my bracket. The Stars are due for this moment. They've been building. They have the goalie. He's actually playing up to par this year, which is nice to see in the postseason. They have that roster, the depth. It's crazy. They have good veterans, Sagan, Pavelski, Suter, yada, yada. They have great top-end talent. They're healthy. Faksa, Hintz, Robertson, Johnson. But then they've also been here before. They've been to Game 7. They've lost in triple-double overtime, if you guys recall that. They've been to these Western Conference playoffs deep in series. They just went through a battle-tested, battle-proving series against the defending champions, knocked them out in 7. They were down 0-2 to start that series, and they came back and won. They can do anything in this Western Conference, and I think they put away the Colorado Avalanche on home ice with an astounding victory tonight.
Yeah, I for all the reasons you guys said, we'll keep it short here. I like Dallas to win this game tonight. I must took a minus the 1.5.
Sprinkled.
I saw like plus 175. That definitely has some value there. I like him to lock this series up in commanding fashion on home ice.
And that top-end talent for Colorado is so good. We know they've been shut down, but how crazy is the depth that they have? One question I would like to have, we talk about the depth of the Hurricanes and the Panthers, and we say those are two of the best rosters. Do the Dallas Stars have more depth than them? I think they might.
No.
Up front. Up front.
And who?
Up front, but I don't think the Canes are that deep, to be honest. They just have the star power.
Yeah, they have Kuznetsov, Jordan's. They have good third line. Like the third line is pretty stacked. Natchez, like you go down that list. Nosen, like there's a lot of good names on that team. Yep, and they're at the bottom of the lineup.
One of the best players. Jarvis isn't.
No, but I'm talking about just like right off the name. You could rattle off 10 really, really good forwards on that team. The Panthers, same thing. 10 really, really good forwards. They probably have better defensemen than the Stars. Stars have a better goaltender, though. But I think if you go line by line, that Stars, all 4 lines are very, very good. Deep. You have impactful players on every single one. Sagan, Ben, Pavelski. Those guys are afterthoughts in terms of scoring prowess on the Dallas Stars, which is crazy to me.
No, I agree.
Just the mix of youth and veteran presidents, and then you have bona fide superstars in their prime right now too. It's crazy.
Yeah, they definitely have the young skill, and like you said, I always when I think about Dallas Stars now, I don't even think of those
that's
3 that you said. Pavelski, Sagan,
it's crazy.
I think Pavelski's actually the oldest guy in the league right now. So
Pavelski's actually
I think so.
the most impactful out of those 3.
But Jamie Benn's won an MVP.
Pavelski's on the top. He's the
rate,
most impactful veteran they have too.
Ben and Sagan are definitely on their on the end of their career, but
Ben, good playoff player to have though. Jamie Benn.
They're definitely both still impactful, and then you got the young guys like Rupe Hintz, you have Heiskanen on the back
Johnson,
end,
Stankoven,
Johnson. Yeah, these
Foxa,
guys are stepping up crazy.
J-Rob,
and then you have the goat in net, not the goat, the brick wall in net.
Best goalie in the West.
Easily.
Any chance the Avs come back from 3-1? This is a team that's won the Stanley Cup. One of the best players.
I don't think
league, best forward, best defenseman.
I don't.
They look like a totally different team.
I would love to see what the Stars' odds are to win the Western Conference, because I might hammer that right now.
We're going over that next.
Okay, let's get over that now.
So yeah, who do you guys like out of the East and the West here? Going over some of these odds. Starting in the West, the Stars leading the pack at minus 130. Oilers behind them at plus 190. Canucks at plus 700, and the Avalanche at plus 1,600 to come out of the West.
You can get the Stars at minus 120 on DraftKings. Bookshop, you guys. Bookshop.
I don't like that, though. That's not a good enough line for me.
Yeah, I wanted
no
it
way.
plus 20. But
you guys
Mackey doesn't respect the Oilers.
Well, the only thing is they're going to be minus one. They're probably going to be minus 150 against the Oilers in a series. And
but you could see them dropping game 1. You don't believe in the Oilers at all. You don't even think they get there.
I don't, and look, I'm kind of right at this point.
But the thing is, you're also like you're right and you're wrong though.
No, I'm not. Yeah, you're well, I'm not really wrong. It's not like I counted them out. I just like you guys before that series started. You guys
them up pretty hard.
Canucks have no chance. They have
a
third string goalie in that, and I said, hold your horses. This could be a really good series, and I was right. It is a very good series. I'm not counting them out yet. I still think it goes 7. Anybody can win a game 7. But what I'm saying is, Stars are going to be minus 150 at least against both those teams, and they're in a position to close out tonight up 3-1 on their home ice. So I think minus 120 is generous.
You know what's crazy is I'm going to do what I keep doing and stick with my pre-series bracket picks because they're ringing pretty true. I'm going to take the value on the Oilers there. I do think the Dallas Stars are the most complete team in the West, best team. And I said they're battle proven. But how many times have we talk about the Oilers oiling? How many times have we seen the Dallas Stars slip up in the Western Conference Finals?
That is true. It is
They
true.
just always have. They just slipped
But the
in a
thing
lot of
is,
playoffs.
you got to look at. I mean, they've always had like a tough team to play. You got to look at who they would play. They'd play the Edmonton Oilers, who also
They are the
slip up every single year. They play the Canucks, who literally have never won anything in like
I've seen them
ever,
lose
I
to the
think.
Jets, the Preds, though. Like they've lost to teams before that didn't have any right really getting through.
I guess you're right.
So I think they're a much better team than they have been in the past.
They are
That's
the
why they're
team to worry
favored
about in the
too.
West.
I don't think there's good enough value on the Oilers. I'd like to see them at a little bit higher number, personally. Yeah, especially in the 2-2
250.
series right now. So I don't think there's anything I would personally play in the West. But I think it's Stars or the Oilers, and I'm going to lean with McDavid. I just think they finally get to a cup at some point in his Edmonton Oilers tenure.
Yeah, I think Dallas is the team to worry about, but I can't take. I don't like that series price as much. But Mac kind of talked me into it as to why what it is. But I do have the Oilers coming out of the West. I'll stick to it till it happens.
Take the
I
value.
don't really have any stake. I don't have any stake in the Oilers. So
I think it's
give me the
crazy
value
though. They're
play.
sitting at a 2-2 series, and you can get the Oilers at
plus less than plus 200.
yeah, and you can get the Canucks at like plus 700. Like,
Let's check out the East here. Odds a little more appealing. The Panthers leading the pack there, plus 110 for them to come out of the East. Rangers, plus 200. Hurricanes, plus 475. And the Bruins at plus 1,000. What are you guys thinking on that?
Ace, if you want, you can get Bruins at 1,200 on DraftKings. But I'll start. I'm just gonna go with the Rangers, obviously.
Bruins
take care of
making
business.
that comeback series and then riding it into the ECF. So I'm gonna ride that there. But no, it's you know what's crazy to me? Plus 475 for the Carolina Hurricanes. That's so low, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Their odds to win the Cup before the playoffs were plus 600.
I think they're. Wait, what'd you say?
The odds for the Carolina Hurricanes to win the Cup before the
I thought it
playoffs
was
was
like
plus
plus
600.
450 to be honest, but
I saw
mean,
600.
yeah, plus 475. I mean, you have to win 4 games in a row, and then you have to play another 7-game series against two teams who are or against one of two teams who are.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a slump. So, I think plus 475 is good.
The East is a
good
slaughterhouse.
number. Yeah, dude, it's incredible.
Yeah.
The fact that the Panthers are even plus 110 is pretty incredible. But no value.
That's who I think.
No
That's who
value
I'm
on the Panthers. There's no way anybody's taking that.
I'm not taking it, but that is who I've switched. I think if Florida gets to the ECF out of this series, I think I hate to just keep picking against your Rangers, Mac. Yeah, I think your Rangers get out of that series. I just think Florida's just so good.
Dude, like I said
We'll
before,
take care of them for you, Mackie.
Florida's the last team I want to see in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm gonna trust the Rangers to get the job done. This is their year.
You guys have home ice against anyone. You have nothing. You just have to win your home games, and you'll win the Cup. Like literally,
taking care of business all year.
Lots of good stuff. Let's run through these power rankings here to wrap up the NHL. Coming in at number 5, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 4, the Vancouver Canucks. Number 3, the Dallas Stars. Number 2, the Florida Panthers. And number 1, those New York Rangers. Like Huff said, keeping that home ice and staying at the top of our power rankings. What do you guys think? Any comments on that? Excuse me.
Goodbye, Colorado. It's the last time you'll see them.
That was before.
Watch Colorado come out and just have a vintage Colorado performance out of nowhere, and they're going back to Colorado.
No, I can't. I'm not buying it. It's Dallas is good at home. I think they handle business.
I agree with you completely. I'm taking the Stars too, but like, just imagine they put up a crooked number like they so easily can with that offense, and then they're going back to Colorado. And then there's a game 7 for the Dallas Stars, who love losing game 7s when they lead a series. But yeah, Mackie's right. DeBoer undefeated in 7s.
8-0. 8-0. So I mean, I don't think the Stars have anything to really worry about at this point. But
are the Stars going to be the number 1 team in our power ranking?
Come on, man. I don't think you can get. I think if it's not the Rangers, it's the Panthers. I wouldn't even say that.
No, but if Panthers or Rangers get forced into a game 7 and the Stars close it out in 5 against the Avalanche,
we're not going to have
the Rangers win their series. They didn't do anything to lose it, but the Stars maybe go to 2.
My thing is, we're not going to have power rankings until the series are over. So if the Rangers.
And then there's only going to be 4 teams left anyway.
So there's a lot of ways you can spin it. So it's the power rankings is a little invalid here, but good for conversation's sake.
For sure. It can go anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, like next round, it literally means nothing. There's 4 teams. Edmonton or Vancouver would be 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff here this week, boys. One last thing before we get going, the NFL schedules are being released here this evening. If you guys heard of any good rumors or anything, I know Netflix announced their games,
The Christmas
Chiefs and the
games are
Steelers
hype.
on Christmas, and the Ravens and the Houston Texans also on Christmas live on Netflix. Have you guys heard any other rumors about your teams or anything you want to bring up?
I'd get to watch
Slaughter
Patrick
you on
Mahomes
Christmas
fucking ruin my
because you want
Christmas
what's great
day
is
this
you know
year.
everyone in the
No-
world is going to be taking Kelsey anytime. Mahomes,
No trust in Russ, man.
Russ does good against Mahomes. He went 1-1
That's
against him
crazy
last year.
because like
You
you're
never
right,
know.
but like the fact that you're
Christmas
saying he does
Mahomes?
good and he was only 1-1 is insane. But you're right. I mean, anybody who gets wins against Mahomes does well against Mahomes. Right.
He won his home game.
That's
He won the
right,
game
but,
in Denver.
won that game up.
His game's in
And
Pittsburgh on Christmas.
you've seen the Chiefs struggle in the regular season last year, so it's not like
They don't care about the regular
impossible.
season. But
Right,
I think
exactly.
Mahomes and Kelsey do care about performing well on Christmas, and I think Taylor Swift's going to be up in a box watching from Heinz Field, and she's going to be doing her dance, and Huff's going to get
She'll be
pissed
hanging out
every
with us
time.
at 28.
Yeah, every time that are you
Or at that point, she could be writing a breakup song about Travis. You never know.
True.
regardless though, Mahomes. Hopefully we get a little snow for that tilt, but I think he'll have his day there. That'll be a fun one though, and Steelers going to be much better hopefully this year, even though they were still solid last year. But
Max
Yeah, I saw
just pulls up the TD guard in a Panthers jersey.
is that even trying to be a chirp? Because like, isn't he boys with Matt Kachuk, Jason Tatum?
Oh, I have no idea. It's just kind of funny.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, he was.
You
He
better
was on
knock
the
him
Heat.
out. You better knock him out now.
Well, expect us to go over those schedules a lot more in depth next week, especially for our teams. Stay tuned for any live streams we have this week, possibly one this weekend for the MLB, as well as the start of some of these third rounds in the NHL and the NBA.
Might be game
Or
7.
in Game 7's, correct. Anything else to add before we get out of here?
I think that's it. Thanks for listening. Make sure you check us out on our social medias. Big interview coming, I believe, next week. We will wait to stay tuned on who that is. We'll reveal that next week whenever we post everything, get it out on social media. Other than that, make sure you get those post notifications on. Had a 2-on-1 day in the MLB today. Definitely another winning day. MLB cards up to, 11, some over 11 units, I think. Maybe just under 11 units, but still positive, rolling along in the MLB. NBA cards been doing okay, getting some plays out there. NHL playoffs, obviously one of the hardest things to call, so I've been avoiding it a little bit. But I know you guys have been riding it, so we'll get some plays out whenever we see the value. But thanks for listening. We'll see you guys this weekend for a live stream.